Welcome back, Shalligators. Okay, I know I've been leaving you guys hanging, but I've been working on some really exciting stuff behind the scenes. Like, if I'm not posting here on YouTube, I'm not just like sitting home organizing my beauty closet, which is exactly what I should be doing with my off time. But we've got some new exciting Shallentine's Day things on the way that I'm so excited to tell you about, but I'm gonna wait a little bit. But actually, if you guys want, tell me some of your Shallentine's Day topic ideas. Like, what is on your mind about Valentine's Day this year? Or in general, just with boys in general, or with anything in general. But you know what's been on my mind? Tom Brady. Ugh. I'm probably the American who thinks about Tom Brady the least. I don't find him attractive. I do not care one bit about football. I just don't understand how you can care about a sport or a team if you're not sleeping with someone on it. Right? And people laugh when I say that. I'm like, I'm right on this. Like, you're weird, especially dudes. It's like you're wearing another man's jersey. I've only worn the jersey of like someone I was dating on like the Rangers or the Penguins or whatever. Like, I'm not just like, hey, I think it's so weird. It's so bizarre to me. So no, I don't care about football. But I do care about idiot men and what we can learn from them. Because Tom Brady, so if you guys don't know, if you are like me and you think he looks like Mr. Peanut, which I do think he does, and you don't follow football, American or otherwise, Tom Brady is like literally the best football player possibly who's ever lived. Is that right? I don't fucking care. He's 45, so he's like, he is a miracle by like 15 years in this industry. Like, not just by a few years, but by like decades. And he keeps winning Super Bowls. I think he's a 7-time Super Bowl champ. Insane. And he was married to Gisele, the supermodel. Oh, I know you heard of her. Oh yeah, we've all heard of her. Like, she's the athlete I want to follow. Like, I will wear Gisele's jersey. Is she making a line of jerseys? I'll wear those. But he retired, like what, a year or something, like 2 years ago, to spend more time with his family, ostensibly. That was the reason. And they kind of came out that like, that was the deal him and Gisele made. Like, okay, you win like X number of Super Bowls or you hit this age, you're going to retire and you're going to be a husband. Like, we're going to live where we want to live, not where your team is. And we're not basing our lives around your schedules, or maybe it was when the kids get a certain age, who knows? But it seemed like they had some sort of agreement. And so he retires and was like, I can't do this. And unretired. And you know what happened next? A divorce. He got divorced in the middle of this football season. So again, if you don't know anything about football, we're about to have the Super Bowl, which is the end of the football season. I only care because Rihanna is performing. And we're going to do a video on Rihanna about how to get your groove back after a break or a rut or an illness or a breakup or a depression, whatever it might be. How to get like back in the swing of things. So don't worry, that's coming. I'm so excited. So the TLDR of Tom is that this motherfucker retires, looks like a clown for unretiring, torpedoes his marriage, and then now in the last few days, re-retires. What? We're going to break this down because he has made, talk about a fumble. He has fucked this from in every possible way. Like, he didn't come out on top in football, and he didn't come out on top in terms of his marriage. He is the dumbest smart person. So why do guys do this? Why do men, when they are at like a not good place in terms of their ego, their identity, their career, why do they take it out on their relationships? And how can we prevent this from happening? Because if you've ever dated a man who's lost his job or gone through some sort of crisis of identity, you have experienced this, and you might have been on the Gisele losing end. Now, we want to be in Gisele's category in a lot of different ways. Not this one, although she is thriving. But before we get started, I want to remind you guys to join the Shallontrage. It's our online community where you get 5 new posts from me a week. Most of them are videos. I'm doing a lot more videos, story times. Today, we had a post go up about what to text a guy who ghosts. Oh, it's good. I've been workshopping this and like honing and refining this recipe for revenge for like a decade, and it is incredible. Plus, you get access to, I think, 10 different Telegram chats that we're all on. We're chit-chatting back and forth. There's going to be a Shalligator meetup. A bunch of you guys are going to go meet and hang out with each other in Nashville. It is incredible. And speaking of meeting and hanging out, There is one spot left for my trip to Paris this April. We're going April, I believe, 7th through 12th. We're going to Paris, the Champagne region. Yes, where champagne comes from. And Versailles. I've been to Paris. I know tons about the history. I speak French. It's going to be incredible. And we had one person cancel, so we have one open spot. The link is down there. I know it's kind of short notice, but you know what? These trips find us when they're ready, and everyone makes incredible friends. I actually just got back from Florida, where I was meeting up with some of the girls who came on one of the Italy trips. Like, we really do just bond so hard and become besties. It's amazing. So whether you want to travel because your friends aren't taking it off the group chat ever, or you just want to experience some other things, you want to hang out with me and be friends, come on down. Link is down there in the bio. All right. So Tom. And I'm probably going to get some like football-y details of this wrong. I don't care. Oh, and by the way, you know that video I did on Remy Bader? And I was like, oh, she hosts like Not Skinny But Not Fat. I guess that's Amanda Hirsch. And then I was maybe spelling Remy's name wrong. You know why? Because I don't fucking care. I don't care about any of these people. I don't care. So that's why I didn't do my research, because I don't care. And it doesn't matter. Like, how I spell her name is sloppy for sure, but it's not like integral to the message we're trying to impart. These people are tortoises and hares. They're characters in fables that we use to gain wisdom, right? I feel like every few months I have to explain that. It's like, I don't give a shit about any of the people I talk about. I don't care. I don't really care about half the people I know in real life. You know, like the circle of care is small, and that's how it should be, right? We can't be hemorrhaging all of our energy and all of our empathy to anybody. It's a bad return on investment. Speaking of investments, there's a phrase that's been going around the internet that I love. Some people are investments and some people are bills. Some people are investments. You get something back from an investment. And some people are just bills that you have to pay. And maybe they get something out of you. Maybe they're an emotional electric company. Oh no, I get money out of her. But what do we get from them? Besides electricity, you know what I'm saying. But I digress. That's a post for another day. And actually, if you join the Shallon Trash, we can talk about it. Maybe I'll do a video on that. But it's fun. Tom, Gisele. So Tom retires. I'm going to spend time with my family. Clearly, it seemed like the kind of scuttlebutt was like, I guess he didn't really like being a stay-at-home retired person. You know, he's a working breed. And I get that because I am too. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are also. Like, I hear people, even now, like at this stage of my life, being like, you know, someday when I retire, and I'm like, retire? I can't imagine retiring. Maybe I won't do this job forever. I hope so, though. But I'll die with my boots on. Like, I can't imagine just like doodling around. It's just not what I'm wired for. I'm a nerd and I'm a performance animal. And Tom is also. And so I get that. But I also get the feeling that Gisele might be as well. And what high fashion campaign has she done? What Milan Fashion Week show has she closed? I can't remember. Like, we all know her. She's like a stunner, of course. But in terms of prioritizing one career in that family, his, no question. Like, when he was playing for the Patriots, they lived in Boston. Not a lot of fashion happening in Boston. Now they live in Tampa motherfucking Bay. Tampa Bay, Florida. Also not a fashion hub. Like, it was him. And then the time came for it to be not even just her, but them. The family. The children. That family structure that he ostensibly said he wanted. He participated in it, right? And she's like, okay, it's time to swing the pendulum, reorient the energy. Let's do this. He got a taste of that and was like, I can't fucking do this. And it's frustrating because this is something we encounter. Guys who say that they want something and they don't. Or not even just guys. Hold on, I need my iced tea. Not even just guys, people. I've done this. We do this. The things we are taught to want, marriage, children, maybe for you, it's the opposite. Maybe it's for you, it's the career. You're taught to want a career. Gotta be a career woman. And you get into it and you don't know until you're there. And that's the fucked up part. Sometimes you learn by doing. You learn in real time that, like, this is not for me. This isn't for me. I don't like being married. I don't like being a parent. I don't like the rat race working in New York City. I want to be a parent. And it's really brutal. It's brutal because in some sense, it's no one's fault. And in another sense, it's completely your fault. You know what I mean? Like, we owe it to ourselves and certainly to our partner and God knows to our children who didn't ask to be here to know thyself enough to be like, what is going to light me up inside? What is going to make me happy? And the worst thing of all, I think, isn't when someone doesn't know that and they go into something and they're like, this is going to be great. And they're like, I fucking hate this. That isn't the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is when they did know and they didn't bother to tell anyone. Maybe not even themselves. But when they know and they're like, oh, it's going to be great. Yeah, let's have another babe. Let's have another babe. It's going to be great. I want to go to law school. I want this so bad. Because then comes the resentment. Then comes the resentment. Your wife resents you. Your husband, your boyfriend, your kids, your boss, your coworkers, your whoever. Your parents who put you through fucking law school and you decide you don't want to do it. All these people are going to resent you. Kind of rightly so. But you're going to resent yourself. We talk on this channel all the time. I've said this a million times. All the questions I get from you guys, all the things I talk to you about, and the things I've experienced in my life and my friends have. It almost never comes down to, I didn't know. I didn't know he was like this. I didn't know this was the deal. 99% of the time, it comes down to, no, I know. I just didn't want to face it. I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to start over. I didn't want to figure out what to do with my life. I didn't want to lose him because I don't want a baby. I didn't want to lose her because I'd rather work on my career. I didn't want to face it. The psyche will do things the easy way and tell you, be like, hey, you don't want to work in New York City, okay? You want to get married and have kids. It can do it the easy way or it can do it the hard way. It can do it the hard way. But either way, your psyche will be heard. She'll be heard. And she will whisper and you'll be like, oh, okay, thank you. Or she will motherfucking scream and then she will light something on fire and then she'll light the whole house on fire and then she'll light your life on fire. And this is where Tom Brady got to. Because Tom Brady, for all of his I don't eat almonds or things that grow in the dark or touch left-handers or whatever the fuck his weird ass rules are for staying fit and staying in this performance mindset that clearly has worked. It blows my mind that he is so clued in on his body and his performance and the psychology of this and is blind as a bat when it comes to his relationships. Blind as a bat. Oh, I don't want to stay home. I don't want to stay home with the kids. I don't like it. And listen, maybe he was perfectly aware of that. Maybe he was perfectly aware of that and tried to tell her. And she's like, I really don't give a shit if you like this. You think I liked staying home for the last 15 years? I didn't. But this was the deal we made. And you're a man who understands contracts, aren't you? So it's time to pay the piper on this one. Marriage seems really hard. Children seem kind of nightmarish. It just seems like everything just gets so difficult and confused. Anyway. So he unretires. He goes back. And she's like, no. She seems to have called his bluff. Now, she's going to be doing some big Vanity Fair cover on this and breaking her silence. And, you know, maybe we'll hear a completely different versions of things. I don't know. But for now, what I'm telling you seems to be what the pervasive theory is, you know, and just even going by logic, like logically, this is how I would say everything played out, that she's like, you reneged on your end of this deal. So I'm reneging on my marriage vows. I'm done here. Like, my life is too short. You have made your bed. You have made your choice. And it's not me. There's this guy on Instagram called Jimmy on Relationships. He's like Christian. He looks kind of like he looks like a Christian dude, like kind of wiry. But he, I guess, was married and had this like Christian-y marriage. And I from what I gather, he cheated. But then like got the relationship back on course and is now like can see the matrix, right? Like he gets it. He is woke. He is a woke bae. And he does little videos for husbands and wives, mostly for husbands on like, hey, here's how to honor your wife. Like, here's how to listen to her. Here's what she really wants. Foreplay doesn't start when you try to like finger blast her at 11 p.m. It starts in the morning when you take ownership of washing your own fucking coffee cup because that's not her job. She's not a servant. I'm like, oh, I love it. And I'm not married, but I get so much out of it. And one thing he said one time was, ladies, like, maybe he was talking about, he said it a bunch, so I don't know who he was talking to. He's like, talking to women, you don't have to tell a man to care about fantasy football. You don't have to tell him to care about the things he finds important. So if you do have to tell him to listen to you, to do the chores, to respect you, it's because he doesn't. And I remember saying this to the last guy I dated. You know, he's like, I can't notice everything. I can't remember everything that you say. I'm like, you remember everything your friends say about that snowmobiling trip you're going on. You remember everything your boss is saying about when you have to go back to work. But suddenly when it comes to me, it's like, you just tune the fuck out. That's interesting. You have the ability to listen. You choose not to when it comes to me. I see the writing on that wall. I'm out. I'm out. I am not going to sit here and allow you to gaslight me and pretend that you just, I don't know, I can't listen to the things. You listen plenty, just not to me. And I will not allow myself to be in that category. And worse, tell myself that it's somehow my fault, that I expect to be listened to and noticed. How fucking crazy. What kind of insane bitch are you? No, I will happily be alone. Will I incinerate my life? As breakups always feel. You know what we know, what we've planned, it sucks. Of course I'll do that. Because I will incinerate my life, my future, and we weren't together that long, but you know what I mean. It's still that feeling. I'm paralleling this to Gisele, who did incinerate her life, you know, her living situation, everything. You know, a divorce is an incineration. I will happily set that on fire, then set myself on fire. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I see the writing on the wall. And now, by the gracious hand of God, I have the strength and the bravery to read what's on there. I'm going to read it. Sucks. It's painful. I don't want to read it. But what's more painful is staying here and acting like, I don't know. Now who's not noticing things? Now who is turning a blind eye? Now who is gaslighting? I'm gaslighting myself. I've spent too many years doing that. And maybe Gisele did too. We are so much alike. We're like sisters. We're just like sisters. I can't wait to meet and braid each other's hair and everything. So I don't blame her. I am shocked that she walked away, but like, so proud. So proud. Because this is what happened psychologically in Tom's mind. And like I said at the beginning, you might have experienced this. You might not look at Tom and Gisele and be like, oh, I've been through that. But you have. I would see this all the time in New York City. All the time. Because in New York, your job is your identity. It's the first thing you ask someone. What's your name? What do you do? And I truly had to be like trained out of that and moving to Montana and even just traveling to other places when I lived in New York. Because I would ask people, what do you do? And people would get like very offended. They were very taken aback. Because, and I remember my husband saying this. He's like, it sounds like you're asking them how much money they make. And I'm like, oh, I'm not. I'm asking something so much larger, which is what is their fucking relevance on planet Earth? Not just about their car. It's much worse than that. But I was. By the way, I don't know what my hair is doing today either. So just, if you keep looking at it and you're like, I'm trying to make sense of this, don't. It's chaos, okay? But I would see guys in New York, they would lose their job or they wouldn't get their bonus or they wouldn't hit their numbers. There was some sort of thing at work, some sort of crisis at work. And because, number one, it's New York City and your work is everything that you are. But also because they're men, and men are hardwired to do what? Provide, to prove themselves, to climb and conquer. They're hunters. How happy is a man who goes out hunting or fishing and comes back with nothing? Worse than nothing. Maybe he gets bit by a fish or gored by a deer. So not only did you not bring home dinner, you are worse off now than when you started. You are a worse hunter. You didn't learn anything. You're worse. That's how men feel in New York when they would get laid off or demoted or whatever, or just even not get the promotion, okay? And it doesn't have to be in New York. This is a thing with young men in general, or at least, you know what? It should be. If you're dating a man who doesn't care that he's not getting promoted, who doesn't mind getting laid off, who isn't trying that hard, you're dating a hunter who doesn't even bother to go hunt. He's just sitting there, well, I don't know, maybe the fish will come to me. Will it, Jerry? I don't know. I digress. When this would happen to guys, this crisis of confidence, their very identity, for lack of a better word, ego. Their ego was absolutely shattered. It's like they're in a plane and none of the gears are working. You're like, I got to get a hold of this aircraft somehow. So what do? 100 times out of 100, they dumped their girlfriend. I know, because I was one of them many times. When a guy would be like, I think I'm getting fired, I was like, here we fucking go. I would start packing my things. I'm like, I know that we're done. I know what you are going to do. Because this is all out of control. I can get control right over here in this category of my life. You know what the problem is? It's not, I'm not trying hard enough at work. It's not the economy has a downturn or I'm in the wrong industry or sometimes shit happens. I think it's her. I think it's that girl who keeps sucking my dick every night and asking how I am and smoothing my hair out of my face when I have a tummy ache and making me dinner. It's her. It's her. She's the one holding me back. Really, Todd? Have we not experienced this? Hopefully you haven't. Maybe you haven't. Maybe he hasn't dumped you, but maybe he is taking everything out on you. Maybe suddenly he can't take you on a date or ask how you are, right? Hurt people hurt people. If you're suicidal, you're homicidal. It's a fucking metaphor, dude. So I see this as exactly what happened with Tom and Gisele. He has this crisis of confidence. I don't know who I am without football. He comes back. Everyone's like, ugh. It's embarrassing to unretire. It's embarrassing. It's basically, I'm not a decisive leader, which a quarterback, that's literally your whole job. I'm deciding things. I'm not a decisive leader. The grass isn't greener. I have no other usefulness for myself. There is no second act. This is all I have. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. When you make this big grand thing and goodbye everyone, you're like, hey, can I come back? I'm so sorry. I have nothing else to do. And he comes back and doesn't win another Super Bowl, right? Is that right? So he's really got this crisis of confidence. Talk about a Hail Mary play. This was a Hail Mary. I'm going to come back. I'm going to blow it out. Rah! He's miserable not being a football player. And so he looks at his wife who's like, it is me or it is the game. And he's like, you know what? My ego is in such a bad, flaccid place. I've decided you are the problem. I'm not the problem. I'm not the one who needs to find some other purpose to get out of bed in the morning. I'm not the one who needs to think about who am I without football? Do I have an identity? I'm not the man who needs to give his own life meaning. You're the problem. You are the thing that needs to be changed. Okay? Even though football is going to age me out on its own in 2 years. I'm old, right? No. You're the problem. I need to feel like I have some sort of control and power in this world. So I'm going to leave you. I'm going to do the only play I have left, leaving my family. It's exactly what he did. We have experienced this. We've experienced this. And like a clown, he comes back, he plays again. The Bucks didn't make the playoffs. It's over. And he re-retires. And I'm sorry, the re-retiring on an Instagram video laying in the sand like he's auditioning for Outer Banks. What the fuck is this? Someone's like, can you imagine walking your dog on the beach? And Tom Brady is retiring 10 feet over there on that dune. No press conference, no nothing. Hey, Rise and Grind fam, it's your boy T-Braids. Legacy-wise, this is so bad. It is so bad. It is so cringe. And it's you might as well have just stayed until you were in your 70s. You might as well have just played until you dropped dead on the field. You've lost your wife. And now you don't even have football. And again, this is what we see regular men do all the time. Yeah, guys, they lose their job. They dump me. And then they're like, oh. Once the high of, I've taken control of everything and I just really weeded out the negativity in my life. Yeah, no, it was that hot girl who loved me. Ew. Yeah, high five, guys. I did that. Once that settles in, it's bad. It's like someone who goes through something traumatic and they decide to, start snorting Oxy. Well, congratulations, because now you have two problems. You have the original thing you weren't addressing, and now you're addicted to Oxy. Fabulous. And then what do men do? What do they do? hey stranger, I was eating coleslaw the other day and I thought of you. I know you love coleslaw. Tell your mom I hope she's well. They come back. I don't know if Tom has crawled back to Gisele. Jesus Christ, wouldn't you? It's not out of the realm of possibility. But I do know that plenty of guys have done this to us. Why is it when we are over it, that's when they come back? Why is this? I was talking to one of my friends about this, Mandy, lately, and she's like, I don't get it. Like, I literally met someone I like and things are like going well. And, you know, we're like, okay, like I'm really into this guy. I had four exes in 1 week. Hey, I miss you. Come crawling back. Why now? It's like they can sense that I'm over them. I'm like, they absolutely, it's not that they can sense it. It's that they are on the exact same emotional journey, but in reverse of the way we do it, right? I've said this before. This is the graph. We get dumped. We get out of a relationship. We break up with someone. We get divorced. We start low. I'm miserable. I miss him. My life has no meaning. I'm so sad after work. Well, my friends are inviting me out and oh my God, that guy's kind of cute. Wait, life gets better. I am thriving. That's our trajectory. Oh. Men do the opposite, especially if they make these rash decisions based on an ego wound. They're just these knee-jerk, like, I need to take back my power. I'm a diva. So they dump us, right? I'm a diva. This is great. This chick is hot. I fucked 2 girls this week. My tummy kind of hurts. Where's Caitlin? Oh my God, I'm having trouble at work. I miss her. Oh. And these happen the exact same time, but opposite. That's why they come back just as we're over it. Because the process is precisely the same, but opposite. And so Gisele is like in Costa Rica and she's running with a sexy surf instructor and she's doing photo shoots. It's like she's fucking thriving, man. She looks amazing. She booked a Vanity Fair cover and Tom is like nestled in the beach like a goddamn sea turtle giving birth. I'm retiring. Season's over. Nobody cares. They're thinking of the Eagles or whoever the hell is playing in the Super Bowl. Rihanna, is she playing? Jason Derulo, I know he's playing in the Super Bowl. Like I don't know. But we see it. We see it. And it just goes to show, like, if it can happen to Tom and Gisele, it can happen to any one of us. Like, Tom seems very aware of his mentality and his mindset. I mean, he would not be such a performance athlete if he wasn't. And yet, fucking idiot. Absolute clown. Complete buffoonery. So how do we avoid this? How do we avoid this? Look, there is no like guaranteed way to avoid this, right? People are going to do what they're going to do. It honestly kind of depends. Like, are you dating a weakling? Are you dating a man who might outwardly seem very self-aware? Is he aware of his own emotions? Not just his emotions, but his ego limitations. How does he react when his ego is threatened? How does he react to disrespect? How does he react to the bumps in the roads of life? Does he have resilience and grit? Does he have it in only one category? Like Tom seems like he has resilience. I mean, he's an athlete. You can't win every single game. But maybe he doesn't. I don't know what he's like behind the scenes. Who knows? Let's say he has a ton of grit and resilience in that one category, right? Maybe he doesn't when it comes to his family. Maybe he deals with his kids and he's like, because he doesn't have that muscle developed like a mom would who's with the kids all the time. He's celebrity parenting, maybe swanning in, hey, oh my God, kisses on the forehead, checking your math homework, gotta go. Maybe he doesn't have that resilience. And when you take out the category where he feels good and confident, and now he's left only with categories where he's like starting from scratch, and as someone this high up, he's not used to that feeling. Who knows? So do a gut check on your man's grit. Not their success. Not their success. Because a very, very successful man is oftentimes, they can be the least resilient. If they've only ever known success, watch out when the wind changes, because they don't have that muscle of getting knocked down and getting back up again. I don't want a trust fund kid. I want someone who came from the streets. I want a man who made his fortune himself, proved himself the hard way. Nothing was easy. Nothing was handed to him. That's a man who can handle my bad day. That's a man who can handle his own bad days. That's a man who can roll with it. Is that Tom Brady? I don't know. I don't know enough about football because I don't care. Like, he seems to have been very successful kind of his whole career. Like, he's not had, like, a ton of injuries, has he? He was, like, the star at Michigan State, and he's always dated beautiful women. You know, maybe he's never really had to check himself, like, what if I don't succeed at this? I don't know. But look at your relationship and ask yourself if that is your man's situation. But what can you do in real time? Give him a lot of space. It's I hate giving people space. I'm such a weighted blanket of a person. Do not try to solve it for him. Do not do this. And listen, we're alpha women. We are solvers. We are acquirers. We are doers. We are not dreamers. We're planners and we're executors. Okay? And that doesn't go well for us in relationships. It just doesn't. Because that's what men need to be. Not that we shouldn't do that, but we need to do that for our own lives, not for theirs. Not for theirs. I've used the analogy before of a football player and a cheerleader. How many times has Deshaun passed the ball to Brittany or Hannah on the sidelines cheering? 0. The girls are cheering like, go. Oh my gosh, you can do it. Yes. They're not running the play. They're not on the field. They are over here and the boys are here. Never the twain shall meet. Okay? I'm going to cheer you on. I'm not getting in the game and helping you finish it. It's your game. It's your deal. And vice versa. You ain't putting those little shorts on and getting the pom-poms out. That's my lane right now. I will play my own game with my own sport, and you're going to be my cheerleader then, but we're not switching roles right now in this situation, right? And again, this is so hard. This is so hard. Did you guys see Top Gun 2, the Top Gun that came out this summer? I may or may not have seen it 7 times in the theater. It's I loved it. Every time I saw it, I got something new out of it. But one thing that I noticed in like viewing 4 or 5 is that Penny Benjamin, who is Tom Cruise's love interest, like it's the point of the movie, the dark night of the soul, like all is lost, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's everything looks bleak and terrible. And you know what she does? And she's a bad bitch. Penny Benjamin, she's like sassy. She owns a bar. She can sail. Like she's no shrinking violet. Like she's an alpha female. And she's rubbing his back and she's like, I know you'll figure it out. You got this. Like you always figure it out. But that's all she did. That's all she did. She wasn't like, and she's an admiral's daughter. She could have maybe had some ideas. Oh, why didn't you talk to the vice admiral of this, that? She maybe had some ideas for how Tom could fix the problem he was facing, but she didn't say it. She let Maverick work it out. She was just the cheerleader. She was just the cheerleader. And it's not a coincidence that men wrote that movie and that it resonated with men and that she was a great archetype of what men want. Sassy, independent, feisty, but she's letting him be a man. She is not veering into his lane and fixing his problems, because think about what happens when a man is in a crisis of confidence. I don't know who I am as a man. I don't think I can provide. What the fuck is the last thing they want? A woman coming in and being the man for them. How much worse can it get? Let's look at it this way, because you know I believe in flipping things so that we can maybe gain some clarity. When I feel all is lost, I'm a nightmare, it's when let's say it's when I feel fat, right? It's when I feel fat, disgusting, I'm broken out, like, let's say it's that, right? Do I want my man to come in and be like, oh, I put on a full bead of makeup. You know what, actually, let me do your makeup too. And here, I bought us some dresses to wear. That's my job. Not only can I not do my job, you, who is not supposed to be doing my job, is doing it for me. I have to watch every other woman in the world succeed doing my job of being a feminine woman, and now you're more feminine than me also. A man. Got it. I mean, imagine that. Imagine that. That would be very, very unpleasant for you. And I know that's like kind of an apples to oranges example, but maybe just like an eyedropper of that, be like, yeah, no, I don't want a man doing my job. Like, I don't want that. Like, let's say you're having problems with your friends because we're hardwired to nurture and love and bond, and all your friends abandon you and you are alone. Do you want your boyfriend trying to be your bestie? Like, let's paint each other's toes and we'll go to bottomless brunch. It's like, you have your role and it's not to be my bestie. I need a bestie. Like that, thank you. That's sweet that you want to pull up and try to help me, but you're kind of making it worse because you're just underscoring the fact that like the only friend I have is the one I'm fucking. Dude, do you see what I mean? So we cannot do that for them. And it is, you want to tear your hair out because listen, we like know better. We know better. Unless a man expressly asks for my help or opinion, I don't give it to them. That is different than not giving him support though. Let's go back to the cheerleader football player example. Deshaun is not running up to Brittany being like, what play do you think we should run next? Do you think the hook and I or the Hail Mary? No. She's like, whatever you choose, fucking amazing. Yes, he's asking for her support, not her input. Very different things. And I, as an alpha female, and probably you too, have a huge problem differentiating the two. It is, and I work on this even with my friends, because listen, our friends are like this. Sometimes you just want to vent and you don't want to hear what you're doing wrong. You don't want to hear how to fix it. You're like, I just need to unload and I just need a hug, man. Like, I'm having a bad day. It is truly a skill to be able to offer support without input. It is tough for women like us. It is tough. It's against like our coding in so many ways. But think about it this way. What if we could just be the girl? Oh my God, what's happening? I'm getting teary. Look at this. I'm getting teary. What is this salty discharge coming from my eyes? Is this crying? I've heard about this. Oh my God, this is such a weird reaction right now. I'm not on my period. What if we could just be the girl? Look at how powerful this statement is affecting me right now. Does this hit you in a way? To just be the girl, to just be the Brittany, to just be the Hannah on the sidelines. Be like, you got it. I'm gonna go shower. You got this. To be Penny Benjamin. What if we could take something off our plates and stop trying to fix everything? What would that look like? What would it feel like? What message would that send to your partner, to your best friend? Now, for years, I told myself that the message would be like, I don't care about you. That's the message. I don't care. Like, oh, sucks to suck. Like, I thought that's how that would be interpreted. Like, I showed my love by fixing things, you know? That was my role in my family. I was the court jester, Lester the jester, I know that. I had to make peace with everyone. And that is what I believe my instruction label is. Like, here's how you use this thing. You use her to fix things. Look what I do for a living. Right? So what if we could just relax into the feminine energy of nurturing, of bonding, of support, of listening? For many years, I thought that was weakness. I thought it would be interpreted as apathy, and inside me, it was interpreted as weakness or impotence. I don't know how to fix this. And if I didn't know how to fix something, I felt very helpless. And worse though, infinitely worse, is when I did know how to fix something and they weren't listening. That still drives me bananas in my relationships. It drives me bananas. I'm dealing with a friend who is like this. She wants to be a content creator. I'm like, okay, if only you knew somebody. And I'm telling you, do this and this. And it doesn't matter what I say. Doesn't matter what I say. No. Resistant, defensive. Blah, 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 blah. You can't tell her nothing. She has like 150 followers. 150. There's no comma after that. Like several hundred thousand. That's it. And I'm like, okay, so I made a promise to myself. No more feedback. Unless she sits me down, please help me with XYZ. And she's honestly going to have to convince me. She's going to have to make a very good case. But that's the way it should have been in the beginning. This is my expertise. This is my product, right? You want my help? You want my knowledge? Convince me to give it to you for free. Convince me to pull up and waste not waste, but give my time and my energy solving your problems. Convince Britney to put on a helmet and get on the field. What if we have that attitude in our relationships? Now look, that might sound a little harsh. Oh, my boyfriend's got to convince me to care about his life. No, I don't mean it like that. But I mean it like, wait until there is a very strong message. I need your help. I value your opinion. What would you do in this situation if you were me? Men are blunt communicators. If he's not asking you that, it's because he doesn't think that. He doesn't want that. And you might say, well, it's difficult for his pride for him to ask. Exactly, girl, exactly. You hit the nail on the head. If it's difficult for him to say it, he sure the fuck doesn't want you to just pull up and do it. He can't say it because he hasn't made peace with that in his own heart. He's not there. So you swooping in and further infantilizing him and emasculating him, being like, I know you can't say it, which he's interpreting as you're too weak to say this. You can't even say it. I'm going to do this for you. Pack your bags and go. Just be on your way because it's over. It is toast. He might not walk out the door, but he will minimize you. He will be passive aggressive. It will not go good. This is the beginning of the end. You have to resist doing that. Have the attitude of, I am here as a resource, but if you choose not to use it, that's okay because I have my career, my body, my friendships, my family, my dog, my beauty closet organization that all need that resource. They all want it. They ask for it. So great. That's where the energy is. If you want a piece of this energy, you have to be very clear about that. Otherwise, the energy I'm giving you is a different kind of energy. It's a supportive energy. It's the cheerleader Britney energy. Okay? And this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. I think this is the curse of loving someone, anything, a friend, a sister, a boyfriend, a pet, and certainly a child. Why won't you just listen to me? I'm right. A lot of you guys are like, do you do like one-on-one counseling? No, because I don't know that I could handle it if you didn't just blindly obey me. To be completely honest, I could never be a therapist for that reason. I would end up screaming and tearing my hair out. Why did you do that? I told you not to. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm working on this. I am working on this impulse. But I have to ask myself, like, I was just incensed that my friend who wanted to be an influencer wasn't listening to me. I was incensed by it. And I sat with myself. I'm like, why does this piss me off so much? The first and most obvious answer, love. You love them. You want them to be happy. You want them to get everything that you want. You want your boyfriend to understand how wonderful he is. A guy, my Hurt Locker, Tom. I said to him, we broke up for the trillionth time a few weeks ago. And, you know, the things he deals with that are the reason we're not together, I'm not going to get into his business. I said, and I was crying, I was like, I would give anything for you to see yourself through my eyes for 5 minutes. You would never doubt yourself again. This is so fucking painful for me that I cannot fix this. This is agonizing for me. And he's like, do you think I like it? I'm like, yes, I do. Because you keep choosing these horseshit behaviors. I think you love it. Why do you love it? That's something you got to disentangle, but you absolutely get an emotional payout from how you behave. Absolutely. And I cannot be part of this circus anymore. I can't. You're a clown, but I'm front row at the circus. And we can't do this. We'll get back together eventually. But is that not what we want? Does love not fuel this? Like, just see yourself the way I do, for Christ's fucking sakes. You wouldn't doubt yourself so much, you know? But number one, there are better ways to impart that. It is not, Deshawn, I wrote the play out for you. Just, Deshawn, follow the play. Hey, Odell, you tell Deshawn to follow the play. It's not doing that. It's not Britney doing that. It's, you are so, like, athletic and fast. Or whatever you tell an athlete. I don't know. What do athletes like to hear? Strong, fast, large penis? I don't know. I'm not an athlete. But it's different. It's you're pumping them up. You're pumping them. You are so good at that. You are so smart. You just chose this restaurant. That's a great restaurant. Look at how you folded those flat sheets. That is great. I bet you can fold a fitted sheet. Go, babe. It's that cheerleader thing without honing in on the thing to change, without poking at the thing, the big thing, right? It's pumping them up in other categories. Because truly, what does so much stuff come down to? Confidence, ego, identity. Who am I? Do I deserve this? What's my place in the world? Do I have what it takes to pick myself up again? So how you can fix that is being that rah-rah cheerleader, staying off the field, not writing plays for him, and doing what you do best. Well, it might not be what you do best. Solving things might be what you do best, but this is a new muscle that we're flexing. In order not only to exact better outcomes from our relationships, whether it be dating or relationship, friendships or kids. I mean, we know that we have to let kids learn things the hard way. We can't do everything for them. It infantilizes them. It makes them dependent. It doesn't give them that grit of knowing I fall down, I alone pick myself up. That is the root of confidence, and that is the root of happiness. To be not untested and have sailed through life, but to be tested and resilient. So this is something we're flexing to exact those better outcomes. But also, like I said when I cried, to take it off our plate. Because now you know what we've done? We have freed up that play and that agility that we're on the field, Brittany on the field with Odell. We have freed up all of that bandwidth for us. And because we've done that, when we're in the crisis of confidence, when we're on the field, we don't need the Britneys and the Hannahs in our life to jump over the line and come run the play with us. We got this because we have been judicious with our energy and our time and our bandwidth and our problem-solving skills. Everyone's got to do this shit for themselves. Everyone's got to do this shit for themselves. And you do that, you promote that by setting the example. Setting the example. Penny Benjamin. Mav, you got this. You always do. You know you'll figure it out. Let me help you. You truly help someone by letting them help themselves. Look at where we are as a society, the way we have infantilized people. Do you want to hear something? You know who is a protected class by the American Disability Association? Drug addicts. They're in the same class as people in wheelchairs. Drug addicts who choose to do drugs. It's a disease. No, Parkinson's a disease. MS is a disease. And I don't know anyone who went to a party one night and someone's like, yo, man, I got a bag of Parkinson's here. You want to do some in the bathroom? Hell yeah, chop up a line of MS. It happened to them. Parkinson's just happens. MS happens. Cancer happens. C4 breaks happen. You choose to start doing drugs. That's not a disease. Anyway, I digress. I'm sure people are going to be lighting me up in the comment. It's a disease. No, it isn't. I'm sorry. Again, I'm reserving my bandwidth for people who are actually suffering. But my point is, we infantilize drug users. Purposeful, day-by-day choice drug users. I'm not saying it's easy to get clean off drugs, but the fact that some people do it by willpower means it's not a disease, because no one has conquered Parkinson's based on their willpower, because they simply decided they didn't want it anymore. That's not how it goes. That's not how any disease goes. But because we're infantilizing these people, is it a fucking coincidence that drug use is through the roof? That we have several square city blocks in Philadelphia that is just an open-air drug market? Yes, like a farmer's market. I have asked a lot of questions about this. Are they selling artisanal soaps? I don't know. Look what's happening. What we have permitted, we have promoted. Infantilizing people who have plenty of free will doesn't work out well. We see this on the macro with drugs. Look at it on the micro in our relationships. It is not different. It is not different. And if we tell ourselves that it is, bon chance, mon ami. Good luck out there. sorry to leave you on a bummer of a note talking about drugs. We're going to be back with more probably football analogies because we're going to talk about Rihanna making her big comeback at the Super Bowl. When is the Super Bowl? Is it this Sunday? If it is, if it's coming up in the next day or two, I don't know. We will do a video on that. Also, I want to know your guys' thoughts on the Pamela Anderson documentary. Tell me what you think. What's the topic there? I remember growing up, like, I was too young for Baywatch, but I remember Pamela being, like, definitely a thing. And yeah, what is there a lot to learn? Did you watch the documentary? Are you pre-ordering her memoir? I think I will. I think it'll be interesting. I kind of like her voice. It's kind of high and girly. And I very much want to listen to her narrate it. We got to do something about those eyebrows, though. We got to do something about those eyebrows. Anyway, I will see you later, Shalligators. Don't forget, join me in the Shallontourage, our cozy little community on the internet where you get tons and tons of bonus videos, 5 new pieces of content a week, plus access to the Telegram chat. And don't forget, come with me to Paris. It is going to be the trip of a lifetime, truly. I'm so excited to show you this incredible city and meet all of you guys and give you squeezes and hugs and kisses. I love y'all. I'll see you later.